Success is often misunderstood. Most people think success comes from education, money, connections, or learning multiple skills. But the deeper truth is simpler. Real success begins when a person identifies their natural gift, the thing they can do better than most people with the least amount of effort, and fully commits to developing it. Every human being is born with a unique ability. It is not always obvious in the beginning, and many people spend years chasing things that were never meant for them. They try different careers, copy others, or follow trends, hoping something will work. But inside, there is often a quiet frustration because they are not aligned with what they are naturally built for. A God-given gift is not necessarily something flashy. It can be simple. It could be communication, creativity, leadership, teaching, designing, organizing, fixing things, cooking, or even making people feel comfortable. The key sign of a gift is ease. When you do it, it feels natural, almost effortless, compared to others who struggle with it. The problem is that society rarely teaches people to discover their gift. Instead, it pushes people toward survival. Get a job, earn money, follow stability. So people end up working in areas where they are average at best, instead of excelling in something they were naturally meant for. That is why many people feel stuck, even if they are successful on paper. True success happens when awareness meets action. First, you must recognize what you are naturally good at. This requires honesty and observation. Look at what people consistently appreciate you for. Notice what you enjoy doing, even without reward. Pay attention to where you lose track of time because you are so engaged. Once the gift is identified, the next step is commitment. A gift without development remains potential, not success. You have to practice it, refine it, and stay consistent even when results are not immediate. Most people give up too early because they expect quick rewards. But gifts grow with repetition and discipline. Another important truth is that your gift is not just for you. It is meant to serve others. The more people benefit from your gift, the more value it creates, and naturally, success follows. Money, recognition, and opportunities are often byproducts of value, not the starting point. The biggest mistake people make is abandoning their gift because of fear or comparison. They see others doing something different and assume they are behind. But life is not a race of sameness. It is a system of uniqueness. When you try to be someone else, you lose your advantage. When you stay in your gift, you operate in your strength. In the end, success is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right thing repeatedly with excellence. Your gift is your starting point, your advantage, and your path. Once you align with it and stay consistent, success becomes not something you chase, but something that naturally follows you. One of the biggest misunderstandings in life is the belief that successful people are simply more talented, more educated, or more lucky. In reality, most people already have something inside them that can lead to success. They just don't recognize it early enough, or they underestimate it because it feels too natural. A God-given gift is not something magical or hidden in a dramatic way. It is usually something simple that you naturally do better than others without much effort. The reason people miss it is because they assume that anything easy for them must also be easy for everyone else. That assumption is wrong. What feels normal to you may be exceptional to someone else. For example, some people can speak very clearly and confidently without fear. Others can understand emotions quickly and connect with people easily. Some are naturally creative, some are problem solvers, some are highly disciplined, and some are great at explaining complex things in simple words. These abilities are often so natural that people don't value them. They think, this is nothing special, while in reality, it could be the foundation of their entire future success. The real problem starts when people start comparing themselves to others. Instead of focusing on what they naturally do well, they look at what others are doing and try to copy it. This creates confusion and frustration because they are operating outside their natural strength zone. When you work outside your gift, everything feels harder. You need more energy, more time, and more motivation just to get average results. But when you operate inside your gift, things feel smoother. You may still need discipline and practice, but progress comes faster because you are aligned with your natural design. This is why two people can work equally hard, but only one may excel, because one is working in their strength and the other is not. Awareness is the first step toward change. You cannot use a gift you do not recognize. Many people go through life without ever stopping to reflect on what they are truly good at. They follow trends, chase money, or choose careers based on pressure instead of purpose. As a result, they remain stuck in roles that do not fully utilize their potential. To discover your gift, you must observe yourself honestly. Ask simple questions. What do people often appreciate about me? What tasks feel easier for me than for others? What can I do for long hours without feeling drained? These questions reveal patterns that point toward your natural strengths. Another important point is that your gift often shows itself early in life, but many people ignore it because it does not look serious or profitable at first. For example, someone who enjoys talking or entertaining others might be told to focus on something practical, even though communication skills could become a powerful career foundation. The truth is, your gift is not meant to be hidden. It is meant to be developed. Once you recognize it, you must take responsibility for it. Practice it, improve it, and apply it in real life. Over time, what once looked small becomes valuable. In the end, success is not about finding something new. It is about discovering what was already inside you and bringing it into the world with consistency and confidence. Gratitude is often treated like a simple emotional response, something you say when things go well. But in reality, gratitude is much deeper than that. It is a mental discipline and a success principle that directly affects how a person thinks, behaves, and grows in life. People underestimate it, but gratitude can completely shift your direction in a powerful way. At its core, gratitude means recognizing what you already have instead of constantly focusing on what you lack. Most people live in a state of comparison. They look at others who are ahead and immediately feel behind. This creates frustration, stress, and a mindset of scarcity. When your mind is constantly focused on what is missing, you lose appreciation for what is already working in your life. Gratitude breaks this cycle. It forces your attention back to the present. Instead of thinking, "I don't have enough," you start thinking, "I already have something valuable." This shift may sound small, but it changes your emotional state, and your emotional state affects your decisions. Better decisions lead to better outcomes over time. One of the most important effects of gratitude is that it improves mental clarity. When a person is grateful, they are less distracted by negativity. They stop wasting energy on complaining, blaming, or regretting. That energy becomes available for creativity, focus, and action. In simple terms, gratitude gives you more mental space to think and grow. Another powerful aspect is that gratitude changes behavior. A grateful person naturally becomes more patient, more disciplined, and more consistent. Why? Because they are not constantly feeling deprived or unfairly treated by life. Instead of rushing for quick results, they trust the process more. This patience is essential for long-term success in any field. Gratitude also improves resilience. Life will always include challenges, setbacks, and failures. People who lack gratitude often break down easily when things go wrong because they feel like life is against them. But grateful people see even difficulties differently. They recognize lessons, opportunities, and hidden growth inside problems. This mindset allows them to recover faster and continue moving forward. Another overlooked truth is that gratitude attracts more opportunities. When you appreciate what you already have, you tend to take better care of it. You also become more open, positive, and cooperative with others. People naturally prefer to work with individuals who carry a positive and thankful attitude. This improves relationships, teamwork, and overall influence. Gratitude also reduces entitlement. Many people believe they deserve more without appreciating what they already receive. This mindset creates dissatisfaction no matter how much they achieve. But when gratitude is present, even small wins feel meaningful. And when small wins are valued, momentum builds faster. In a deeper sense, gratitude keeps a person grounded. Success can sometimes create arrogance or distraction, but gratitude brings balance. It reminds you that progress is not only about effort, but also about timing, support, and circumstances beyond your control. This awareness creates humility, and humility keeps learning alive. Ultimately, gratitude is not about ignoring problems. It is about refusing to let problems blind you from progress. It does not deny challenges. It simply refuses to let them dominate your mindset. When practiced consistently, gratitude transforms how you see life, how you respond to situations, and how you move toward success. In the long run, people who master gratitude don't just achieve more, they experience success with more peace, clarity, and stability. One of the biggest silent killers of success is complaining. It seems harmless at first, just words, just expressions of frustration. But over time, it shapes a person's entire mindset. People who complain frequently don't realize they are training their brain to focus on what is wrong instead of what can be improved. And that shift slowly blocks growth. Complaining usually comes from a feeling of powerlessness. When a person feels stuck, unfairly treated, or frustrated, the easiest response is to point out problems. It may feel relieving in the moment, but it doesn't solve anything. In fact, it reinforces a mental habit. I am stuck, and I cannot change it. This belief becomes a barrier to action. The human brain is highly adaptive. Whatever you repeatedly focus on becomes your default thinking pattern. If you focus on problems every day, your mind becomes skilled at finding problems everywhere. Even in positive situations, a complaining mindset will still find something wrong. Over time, this creates negativity bias, where nothing ever feels enough. On the other hand, people who take responsibility instead of complaining develop a completely different mindset. Responsibility means accepting that while you may not control everything, you always control your response. This shift is powerful because it moves a person from victim thinking to growth thinking. When you stop complaining and start taking responsibility, your energy changes. Instead of spending time and mental effort on expressing frustration, you begin thinking in solutions. What can I do next becomes more important than, why is this happening to me? This simple shift turns passive thinking into active progress. Another hidden cost of complaining is emotional exhaustion. Every complaint carries emotional weight. When a person constantly complains, they are repeatedly reliving frustration. This drains motivation and reduces focus. Over time, they feel tired, not because they are doing too much, but because their mind is overloaded with negativity. In contrast, people who practice gratitude and responsibility conserve energy. They do not waste mental space on things they cannot control. Instead, they channel their energy toward improvement. This is why successful individuals often appear calm under pressure. They are not wasting energy reacting emotionally to every situation. Complaining also affects relationships. People naturally avoid individuals who constantly complain because it brings down the overall environment. Whether in work, family, or social circles, negativity spreads quickly. On the other hand, people who bring solutions and positivity attract trust and respect. One important truth is that complaining does not change circumstances, but action does. You can complain about your job, finances, or situation for years, and nothing will change unless you take steps to improve it. But when you stop complaining and start acting, even in small ways, progress begins. Responsibility does not mean ignoring problems. It means acknowledging them without becoming emotionally stuck in them. It is the difference between saying, "This is bad," and saying, "This is bad. Now what can I do about it?" That second mindset creates momentum. In life, growth always follows ownership. The moment you take responsibility for your situation, you regain control. And when you regain control, you regain direction. Complaining takes that control away piece by piece, while responsibility builds it back. Ultimately, the key lesson is simple. What you repeatedly express becomes what you mentally live in. If you repeatedly express complaints, you live in frustration. If you repeatedly express solutions and gratitude, you live in progress. Success is not just about talent or opportunity. It is also about mental discipline. And one of the strongest disciplines you can develop is refusing to complain and choosing to take responsibility instead. Faith is often misunderstood as simply believing in something without proof. But real faith is much deeper and more practical than that. Faith is not passive thinking. It is active trust combined with consistent action. It is the ability to move forward even when results are not immediately visible, while still believing that your effort has meaning and direction. In life, uncertainty is unavoidable. No matter how skilled, educated, or prepared a person is, there will always be moments where the outcome is unclear. This is where faith becomes important. Faith does not eliminate uncertainty. It gives you the strength to move through it without giving up. Many people confuse faith with wishful thinking. They hope for success, but do not take consistent action toward it. However, real faith is always connected to work. A person with faith does not just sit and wait. They prepare, practice, and persist while trusting the process. That is why the idea "faith without works is dead" is so powerful. It means belief alone is not enough. Belief must be supported by effort. Faith also plays a major role in persistence. Most people quit too early because they expect quick results. When they do not see immediate progress, they assume it is not working. But faith allows a person to continue even when progress is slow or invisible. It keeps motivation alive during the waiting period. Another important aspect of faith is mindset control. Life will constantly present challenges, delays, and setbacks. Without faith, these obstacles can easily lead to doubt and discouragement. But with faith, challenges are interpreted differently, not as signs of failure, but as part of the process. This interpretation is crucial because your perception determines your response, and your response determines your outcome. Faith also strengthens discipline. When a person truly believes their efforts will lead somewhere meaningful, they are more likely to stay consistent. Discipline becomes easier when there is a strong internal belief guiding it. Without faith, discipline feels forced and temporary. One of the most powerful effects of faith is emotional stability. People without faith often experience extreme emotional highs and lows based on results. A small failure can break their confidence, while a small success can create temporary excitement. But people with faith maintain a steady mindset. They understand that results take time and that progress is not always linear. Faith also encourages risk-taking. Growth in life often requires stepping into unknown situations, starting a business, learning a new skill, changing careers, or pursuing a dream. Without faith, fear dominates decision-making. But with faith, a person is willing to take calculated risks because they trust their ability to adapt and grow. Importantly, faith is not blind. It is not about ignoring reality. Instead, it is about believing in potential while working through present limitations. It is the balance between vision and effort. You see where you want to go, even if you are not there yet, and you commit to walking toward it step by step. Ultimately, faith is what keeps people moving when logic says stop. It is what pushes individuals beyond fear, doubt, and uncertainty. But faith alone is not enough. It must always be paired with action. When belief and effort work together, they create momentum. And momentum is what transforms ideas into reality over time. In simple terms, faith is not just hoping for something better. It is working for it while trusting that your effort will eventually produce results, even if you cannot see them yet.